Okay, and all right. So as I'm switching over, getting things up, questions that have arisen, guys? What kind of questions we got? Nothing. Going that well, huh? Survived the rain yesterday.
I actually got a report on my phone that if you're in Riverside, you need to seek high ground.
Oh yeah.
And I don't live in Riverside, but I got that alert and I was like, wow, it must be that bad if I'm like, 2 cities over and I'm getting this.
Well, you're probably
This
close enough. So yeah, probably. I mean, those kind of things go out based on where you are to the cell phone antennas, I guess. So
or probably by zip
did you
code or
seek higher
something.
ground just in case? Did you go to higher ground just in case?
Oh no, well where I live, I kind of already live on a hill, so
Okay.
I'm pretty much fine. I mean, there would have to be like a 200-foot rise in the oceans before I think I'd have to start getting concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they were flash flood alert, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm the same thought here. Like if it gets that bad, then we're all in trouble. But well, it's kind of cool that they have those things. Again, obviously was not super important this time, but you never know where you might be going around and there could be some floods. I know some of the mountains, we saw some of the pictures on TV of the mudslides and big slides. That's no fun. So, hey, technology works though. That's kind of cool. All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. I've got the did a quick paper for the logo. Let me get this up here. What's going on, computer? Wow, things are slow today. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is weird. Nothing comes up. I don't know. Let me try another browser. Some weird stuff going on here. I don't want to quit the other browser just in case. All right, so what I'm trying to open up is a website, and on here is a document for the logo project here with a due date and stuff. But one more time. Obviously, I'm having internet web issues. I'm just checking to make sure the internet is working on my side. And this, okay. All right. Anyway, something's, I guess my website's down. It'll come back. All right, so let me bring that up. I got the document. And I will find it here for you. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right. All right, so let me get that back up here. I think it's under. I think I did it. Illustrator. No, where Tuesday class. All right, so here is basically what the document is on the website. The website apparently is down for right now, but I'm sure we'll be back. So we're going to be doing our logos, and they're going to be due on Tuesday, November 9. So that's basically 2 weeks from today. And I'm going to be doing a travel logo. I want you guys to research and look at other companies and look at logos and get a feel for what they are. I want you guys to kind of envision what your travel agency is, what it's like, and who it's catering to. And, is it, geared more to people that have more time to travel, retired, semi-retired, people who've got longer vacations, or is it, geared for outdoor adventure weekends? Who is it kind of for? It really can't be for everybody, even though we all think that they can be for everybody. There is kind of a target market, a target audience for this. So, kind of think about what that is to you, and it could be anything with that. And then look at logos, look at fields, and we're going to go through some just ideas today to continue with this. I want you to sketch some things out, much like we saw in the Aaron Draplin videos. Get the ideas out. It's much easier to kind of draw them quickly and get them down, and then bring them into the computer, and then you have time to refine and reflect on what you've been doing. We're going to be working and doing these up as a combination logo, where there's some kind of icon or a monogram, and then the company name. And again, we're going to go through that again a little bit real quick today. By next Tuesday, I want you to have kind of like your 3 favorites. And so be prepared that I might call on you and say, hey, show me your 3 favorites of what you've been working on. And I can give you some feedback on that. And then the final will be due on Tuesday the 9th. And we're going to be emailing it to me as a PDF. Okay. Questions on that? And again, we'll go through it a little bit more today with combination logos and such. You got it? Yes? No? Makes sense? Good. Thumbs up, somebody? My speaker working? Is my speaker working? Okay. All right. Nice. We close that out. So let me just clear this out. This is some stuff I was playing with yesterday. So I want to kind of go through and kind of talk about this idea of a combination logo, where, in this case, there's some kind of icon and words, okay, or some kind of a monogram. We'll just put, there's an A, get that. An A and a T monogram, in this case for Ace Travel, and we're working those together as some kind of type treatment, right? I mean, we kind of went through that the other day. And what could that be? I'm putting that A and T together. 1 second here. A little smaller. some kind of A and T. Anybody know that logo by chance that I made there? This actually the Appalachian Trail. That's the logo they use on the Appalachian Trail. I love it. It's great. It's kind of an A. It's a T. It's also kind of a tree. Yeah, craziness. Yeah, that's kind of like the cool stuff here. That's wrong, but it's okay. So it was kind of this combination pulled together. It's actually quite nicely done. All right. So, this is, it's a trail. It's not a business thing, but it is basically a logo for this. And this is the proper logo, Appalachian Trail National Scenic. So, but there's this shape that's used for historic or scenic trails in the US, this kind of box shape. But okay. So I want to just kind of look at this idea of combination logos and what they are. Now, again, most of these, a lot of these are, famous. We'll just take a look here, right? We all know all of these typically by looking. And I will tell you, every one of these here is a combination logo. From this case, let me see if I get that opened up a little bigger. There we go. So the Wendy's, again, Wendy's is pretty complicated. I would say their finished logo is probably a little simpler now. McDonald's was this way, and they've simplified it now just to the arches. Arby's is pretty close to the same, I think, and Hardee's the same. Sonic's pretty much the same. Carl Jr. Again, they may use things like the stars separately in Carl's Jr. You'll see that on a commercial, but they're kind of working them in tandem and in a combination here. Even Domino's Pizza, right? There's the Domino's, it's square like a pizza box. You got the words in there. In and out, you may see the arrow at times separately in some kind of configuration. Maybe it's like that on the soda cup or something like that. And then, but technically and legally, it's the words with that arrow. So again, doesn't need to necessarily be a complicated kind of icon or mark, but typically it's going to work in conjunction with the idea and feel that you've done. And besides, I'm going to say literally besides probably the Burger King, where there is kind of a food look. We got the Burger King with the burgers and the up and down on the buns. And of course, Bob's got a picture over here of a burger. None of them else really say food, right? It's like it doesn't, without the word Domino's Pizza, you wouldn't know it was a pizza place besides having seen it for a million times. Or the Carl Jr. or even Wendy's. If it didn't say hamburgers, would you know what it was? And again, this is kind of built up over time. So this is why we do combination marks, so we can kind of hopefully bring in some brand awareness for the company, but also kind of explain a little bit what they are. Like I said, it's very difficult when they're on their own. And again, most logos end up being some kind of combination. So here we have Outback, and there's some kind of hills in the outbacks of Australia, but it says steakhouse. Okay, so we're kind of building these things together. And over time, things simplify. Now, in 10 years, can Denny's just use this kind of shape? Maybe. Will it be as strong? I don't know. Okay, but right now they're using the word Denny's, and then typically they're on the signs will have some additional wording. But we've come to learn what that is. So the combination marks are crucial, especially when a company's first starting. Whereas if you did it, just like the Starbucks logo that we have today, you would have no clue what that was, right? So if you put that on the side of a building and it was a startup company, no matter whatever it is, it could be selling coffee or they could be a travel agency, it wouldn't mean anything to anybody, right? They would just keep going by it. Nobody would come in. Even if you got somebody to come to the place because you called them, you marketed to them, there was an email, whatever, and you said come to 123 Main Street, they might walk right by it because they don't know what it is. They don't know it's your company because it's just this logo. They're not seeing the name Ace Travel or whatever the name of your company is. So combination marks are really, really important starting out. Again, sometimes they're just quote a word mark, but even a word mark here has been done in a way that's kind of symbolic for them. Okay, in this case, the arrows of kind of movement, like for a subway system that was made up. Okay, but for the most part, you're going to find logos in some kind of combination where there's some kind of imagery or symbol or letter mark going with the word. So here is kind of a C and a B that's kind of happening in there. Okay. So questions so far? Let me know if I'm going and you're not getting it. All right. So yesterday I was kind of playing with this kind of idea of a jet, and the question came up of, can we use and acquire imagery from online? Definitely for the class we can. In real life, you're going to want to make sure that you're purchasing. And I'm just going to show you like 2 ways that you can kind of work with this right now as a class, as a student, for example. I'm just going to go with a mountain. And I'm going to do vector. But when I hit vector, I'm going to get a different style of illustrations, as you can see, as opposed to if I just do mountains. In this case, for Google search, I'm going to get pictures and photos and stuff. So I'm just going to find, and again, a lot of these are pretty simple that you could do this. Let me just do a couple things. I'm going to just get this one. I'm going to drag it into Illustrator real quick. All right, that's one. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a, we'll work with this. It's a pretty big mountain, but we'll show you how to do it. So couple things I could do. Let's say I like this and I want to kind of modify this. There might be things like I don't want the trees, or I just want this to be one color, kind of a silhouette. So I'm going to do as a silhouette. So 2 ways I could do this. I could kind of, again, I'm using this as a reference point. I'm going to want to just get my pen tool and I'm just going to start to draw. And I'm just going to come along here and I'm just working along with my pen tool. And you can see I'm just kind of clicking as I go. Nothing too complicated. If I'm not perfect, don't worry. You'll come back and be able to do that later. Okay, but you just kind of like, I like the silhouette here. It's kind of an interesting one. And I might use it. I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to come across the hills. Don't want it to be super smooth. And we're going to go like that. So now we've got this hill, mountains drawn in. And again, we can see we're not perfectly aligned with that. But again, we can come back and change, right? I can use my direct select tool and I can come back over here and then I can use my handles to adjust the Bezier curves. I can add or take away points if I have too many, like I may go, well, maybe that one's not needed. Just take that one. Whoops. I don't want to add, I want to take away. Take that one away. That one's good. Maybe I'll get rid of this one here. And I'm just going to come through and just going to kind of tweak it into being. And it's perfectly fine to kind of drop the opacity down And now you can start to see what's underneath, what you were trying to trace. So you can come back and make those adjustments. Okay, so I can kind of, I know there's up here, and I'm just kind of adjusting as I go. This will be more of a curve like that. Pull that point down a little bit. So I'm just want it to be kind of in line, but off a little bit, and that's pretty cool. I don't want the trees, so I'm not worried about them. And I'm going to just kind of give it a color. And I'm just going to go black for now for the sake of doing it. And I'm going to pull my opacity up to 100%. Okay, so now I've got this drawn in. What have I got going on here? Hold on.
Oh, so you essentially just like trace the
Yeah, I
silhouette?
just literally traced it.
Okay.
Why do I have red spots on my screen here? Dude, there's something going on here. Give me a sec. My monitor's going out. My kid's been playing with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I had hot Cheeto dust on my screen or something.
Can you guys see that? There's little red dots.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is that? It's not. It's staying.
Hmm.
They're like point. You know what? I'm gonna blame it on my kid for now. She's not gonna be able to use my kid. I'm guessing she's taking like a pen and just kind of pushing stuff.
If it was a defect on your screen, like the pixels themselves, then that wouldn't be streaming though, would it?
I have no idea. You can see in there, right? They're like
Yeah.
red dots.
Pretty odd.
They're not like coming off, so I don't think it's the red marker or something. I don't know. We'll take care of that later.
There's a feature where the students can like draw on whoever's screen sharing. Somebody may have been messing with it,
Yeah, well,
but you can clear it on your end.
there's no, you can't draw on my screen. I just have a lot.
I think I can.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
what you're doing. Ow.
Whoa. How do you do that?
So you can clear
You
that.
zoom, right? That's something zoomy, guys. Is that animated?
Whoa. It's crazy that it put it on your screen.
Oh, holy cow. Wait a second. You guys are like freaking me out here. So I can just kind of draw. I can, huh? Wow. Okay, so maybe that is it. It is. Oh, you're a genius. You just got an A. Here I'm freaking out. Thinking this, my kid did something. Somebody has something on their screen. Who can draw? Whatever. All right, no more drawing, guys. Oh, you're freaking me out over here. Somebody else got one down there. Hold on. Now you got me like, I'm thinking it's my monitor, it's my kid. You know, she's been on here playing her games. They're like some
Dang.
math games. I don't know. So anyway, you can trace out, right? So now we've got this mountain, and we can come back and we can modify it and do this up with it. But I've got that done. The other is you can live trace, right? We went through tracing before. Let me get that down so you can see it up here. All right. So I've selected and I've got image trace. Now, because I've only got a few colors, I'm going to try just a couple colors. I don't think if I do black and white, it's going to do it. I'm going to do it just to check and see what a preview does. It did okay, but it kind of could build that in. That's not too bad. It kind of has some nice little, I don't know, the snow. But the problem could be, again, as logos get small, you don't want to have too many details, right? I mean, like this image works, but if I was to scale this thing way down, right, it doesn't work as a logo, really small, because it's just too complicated. It gets too much. Okay, so we want to kind of keep our logos relatively simple. It doesn't mean it's super simple, but relatively simple. I'm just going to do a live trace of 3 colors. Let's see what this comes out to be. That's not too bad. Still put those in, but we can work with that. So it did the sky, it did the mountains up, and it did the trees. So that's not too bad. Let me kind of work with that. So I'm going to select, keep that selected, and I'm going to expand. So when we hit expand, that means it's going to take all the points and make it a vector. And now these are all vectors. And then I have to ungroup it. And that lets me pick certain things. So I'm going to ungroup. I'm just going to delete that because I don't want that. I don't want those birds. And I don't want the trees in there. But now I'm left with this kind of the outlines of the trees. So a couple of things I could do. One, I'm going to try there's the eraser tool, which we haven't done yet. And I'm going to see if that's going to, no, I don't want it. That's not going to work. I was trying to just kind of erase it, but it's going to put those in. So I'm going to go with the anchor tool and select here. And I can just come through. It's going to take a little bit longer, but what I can do is just kind of come along and select these points and delete them. So eventually, you're going to have to zoom in close to get them. But if I go through this, and it'll take me, 10 minutes or so to do, I'm going to be able to literally click off of those trees and get them out of here. That silhouette. And as I do that, you'll see I'm just kind of cleaning it up. And you can see I got rid of that tree. And I could just go through and do the rest, right? Go through and grab all those points and take them out. Okay, so I can do that. And then up here, I could take those off. Or what I can do, because I don't really want to leave that hole and leave the gap there, I'm going to just take my ink, my eyedropper, select that color, right? So now I've got that color loaded up, and I'm just going to kind of select the next one, and likewise, just kind of go through, and I'm leaving them in. They're separate shapes, but long as they're the same color, it won't matter. And in fact, I'll use the Pathfinder tool in just a second to make those all part of one object. Okay. So we've drawn that map in, or I'm sorry, the mountains in. We've got those weird shapes in there. So I'm just kind of grab everything, just highlighting everything, and then go to my Pathfinder tool. And in this case, I'm going to unite, meaning I'm going to take everything and make it all one. Okay, so now those weird shapes of the snow have gone away, and I've got this with the trees in there. I'm just going to leave the trees for now. But I can still come back in and take those points out. Okay, I can still come back in, even though we unified the shape with the Pathfinder tool. I still have all of these little points on the edges here that I can take away. Okay, just patience sometimes. Okay, but I do have a little bit, a little more accurate ridge here on the mountains. Okay, so this ridge is probably a little more accurate to what it was than this one was, but it's not too much different, right? You can see there, I've got a little bit extra swell in here, but it's not too radically different that you wouldn't be able to kind of figure the two out. So it's just a matter of which way is going to be better for you to do this, right? This will take a little bit longer with the trace, but you're gonna have to come back and take out these points of the trees. This is a little quicker and maybe a little bit more stylized, and I think that's okay too. Again, we're kind of working from a reference point that we do. Now I'm just going to do a save as, just to have this in case I need it later. Mountain vector, oops. Where that's trying to put things. Desktop. Let's see. So I'm just going to save it as an AI file, Illustrator. That way, all the points, everything is still live. And just click OK. And that's there. So I have that. Now I'm going to take this back. I'm going to bring this back. Oops. I'm going to bring this back over here to where I was working before and paste it in. And now we've got a mountain. And I want to kind of make this into a logo. So typically what I would do is put this into some kind of a shape. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to do shapes. I'm just kind of Googling, right? We've got these kind of shapes. I'm just looking for ideas of potential shapes. That's kind of nice. This kind of cool. This kind of, again, you got to look, right? This one might be too authoritarian, like kind of like a police badge. This one might feel a little bit like a ranger. It's the park ranger, park symbol. So that might be good if I'm doing outdoor adventure. So actually, I'm gonna see if I can grab that. Let me see. In this case, I'm just gonna grab it. There we go. Oops. I'm looking to see. Open. Oh, come on. Okay, let me just do this. I'm bringing this in. The only one I'm going to look at, I'm going to do is just this one. So I don't care about anything else. I'm going to do again, I'm going to do a live trace. Image trace. I use live trace just because it used to be called that. So I'm defaulting back. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, 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 right? So I'm going to expand. I'm going to ungroup. And I'm going to just get rid of that. Whoops. All right, I just want this. Command C, copying that one. Command B. Again, it's small, but who cares, right? Vector, make it bigger. All right, and I'm going to use this as my symbol. So I'm going to use, my goal is to put this in here. All right, maybe there's a jet, I don't know. And then we're going to use this term ace travel again. So when I look at this, it was taken apart. There's kind of two parts. There's the outer part and the inner part. And I'm going to get rid of that. And now I just have the outer part. And again, it's not perfectly done. I can see it's a little bit unevenness, but I'm going to use it for now. And remember, this is not a path at this point. This is a fill. So if I zoom in, you can see when I select on this, I've got these points. Okay, so it's like basically a path that's been widened out and filled in. And I can, of course, change the colors here also on this. Let me get rid of this. You know, so I can put this to be any color I want. In fact, you know what? I'm going to open up a color book, earth tones, nature, nature landscapes. So I'm just kind of opening this up, and I can put those in here. I'm going to give it the stroke of there. I'm going to pull those all up. I'm just going to put these in my color palettes to use. I don't know what I'm doing yet with them, but I've got them and I'm here. So I just want to pull those together in case I want to. So all I'm doing literally is dragging that little folder up into my color folder. Okay, so I have those palettes to work from should I need those later. And I can just close that out at this point. I've got enough there. So I've got this, okay? And then what I want to do is kind of build this in. So again, we're building this combination where we're going to have words and imagery together. So I've got, I want to kind of visualize where I want this logo. And I'm going to say I want it to be about here. We'll go here. So I'm going to actually move this object to the front. And then I'm going to select the other one. So I've got both of those done. Now I'm going to come to my Pathfinder. And what I can do is I can minus the front, meaning it'll take off and leave the back, right? Which I don't want. Okay, I can Command Z. That leaves that part. Exclude. I don't want that. I want to basically kind of crop. I'm just looking to see which one will work. Okay. Trim that. Okay, divide should work. So I hit divide, and basically I was able to crop this off. So I'm going to take this piece away. I don't want it. Took this piece away. And now I'm going to put this piece, which is, I don't even need this piece here. It's got a little extra piece. Pull that, whoops. Let me zoom in. What am I doing here? No, I'm going to leave that in. What I'm going to do is put this to the back. That's fine. I'm going to turn this from green, black to green. Something weird happened there, but I'm not going to worry about it. And over here to green. So now I've got the mountain in the back. Again, it's very abstracted. It's okay. We're not too worried about it. And now I'm going to maybe take a plane. Again, we're just going a little crazy. I'm just kind of putting things in spots. I'm not worried about color yet too much. I will come back with color. And then I'm going to come back here with the word ace and the word travel somewhere down here. Okay, so now I've got one logo, and we're on the way, right? We're on the way to starting the design. This is one, so I'm going to come up with a couple more. But I've got this kind of shield, and I took the mountain, built it in. I could give this kind of a background color if I wanted to. I can make the mountains, purple mountains majesty. Get the right button here. Okay, so we've got purple mountains, and we can take the jet. And again, just kind of looking at my color palettes. It's orange, and then we're going to make the letters kind of the same thing. Want those just to kind of stand out a little bit brighter orange. Go back to here. Okay, so we've got just a quick logo, not perfect, but we're starting, right? We're just starting that process of kind of working things. Maybe I take something like a circle and do something like that, where I've got a circle. I want to flip it to give a stroke. I don't want to fill at this point. And I'm just bumping it up so it looks good visually. Maybe I'm going to put a mountain in there with the words. Maybe the words are going to go around. So let me duplicate that path. I just want it to be the same size. And I'm going to do type on a path, type on a path, click on there. And I'm going to do ace travel. And I'm going to scale that up. And just kind of pull in the type up so it looks to be where I want it to be. All right, and then I'm going to take it and then turn it. Come on. This is where type gets weird, right? With that on the path. It's like, I don't want it outside. I want it up centered up top there. Okay. And I'm going to put that over this. So sometimes it's just going back and forth and kind of adjusting. Okay. And then within that day's travel, maybe there's some kind of plane. I'm playing again with the jet stream, kind of a flare. Coming off. Right. And then there may be some other elements that go in there. So again, I'm working another logo. Okay, with that. Or maybe it's something with, you know, again, working this kind of an AT, some kind of monogram. And I'm going to pick a different typeface so it doesn't look so Appalachian Trail, because I know what that was. Just looking for it's there. Now, sometimes you might find some dingbats, okay, in your fonts. Okay, so look for those. Maybe that can help you out working things. I'm going to align them. Oops. Zoom in, feel free to zoom in to get in there and see what you're doing. And I need to come down on that one. Ungroup. Oops. Ungroup. Okay, so now we're doing a word mark, kind of a monogram. And then we're going to play with the words and pull those up. Okay. Again, we'll play with the different weights. All caps, lower, upper and lowercase, different weights with that different type. So this is a serif. This is I'm sorry, it's a serif. This is a sans serif. Potentially working in some kind of shape. Maybe it's just kind of like a oblong shape like this. I'm going to flip it till I have the there. Let me give it a little stroke. Okay, so it's just kind of in a rounded corner shape. Okay, nothing complicated. Doesn't need that. Logos aren't necessarily always complicated. And you can get this to be as crazy as you want. You can put things in the background and do a gradient in this box, etc. Right? You can also, like, again, just give it a fill. All right, I'm going to put that to the back, arrange, send it back, so we see that. You know, maybe that's too much. Maybe do something like that. Okay, so what I want you to do again for next week, for next, when I say next Tuesday, is basically come up with, work your logos and come up with your 3 best. So if I call on you, you can go, okay, that's cool, I got that. Here's my 3 best, what do you think? And then we can talk through what works and what doesn't work on those particular logos. But take your time. Now, I also want to kind of go through just real quick with type is a couple things we can do. You probably don't have a bazillion typefaces like I do, right? If I click on this, these are all my typefaces. I got 100 million of them, it seems like. But you can download. Okay, so you can hit the find more. And I'm going to, let me get this out of the way here. These are Adobe typefaces. Okay, so these are ones that come with your Adobe accounts, and there's I think thousands. I've never counted them, but there's a lot, and we're just in the bees now. So you can kind of go through, and let me move this out of the way so you can see it, and it'll show you a preview what it's going to look like. Okay, so it's a good way to kind of do it. Type your word out, go through, and just kind of see what that looks like. And you'll see, like this one, this Acme Pro Semi-Condensed 30. So when it says 36, that means there's 36 styles underneath, right? Thin, all thin, italic, ultra thin, lights, bolds. So all of those are the same typeface. So that's where we can do something like bold on one spot and then thin on the other. So if you see these that have these big numbers, 28, 30, those are all the same. This 2, there's only like this version, 2 versions of it. Okay, so those numbers mean there's multiple versions here. There's only really looks like 1, but it's saying it's 2. I don't know. Okay, so try to pick typefaces a lot of times that have multiple faces so you can kind of work with them when you're doing something like this, where parts thick, part is thin, etc. So once you find one you like, just hit download over here. It's behind. Let me get this out, chat out of the way. Just hit this download, activate. And what it's going to do is turn that on, and it stays on until you turn them off. And I don't know if there's a limit on turning on or not, but and it's thinking, and what it's doing is it's downloading this basically to my computer, so I'll be able to use it. And then I'll get the different weights, if there is different weights in there. That's kind of a stupid one. Give me. I didn't want to activate that one. I'll undo it later. Looking for something. It's got a couple weights to it. 108, dude, that's nuts. Holy cow, look at that. That's a pretty sight there. 108 different styles. You're going, why would I? Well, again, if you were doing a publication or a book, you kind of want those kind of things so you can have different things for captions and little words that go under pictures and indexing, and you just want a variety of choices to do that. I'm going to do this albino activating. So it's activating. It's going to be turning this on in a second here. And I should get a notice that it's on. All right, so I'm going to go to fonts and go to albino. It's up A. Was it AB or AL? I just did. Coming into play. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do that. It's kind of a stencil look. There is the heavy stencil, a couple of lighter ones. So I'm going to go with the bold, and then I'm going to do another word. I'm going to do the same thing, travel. Okay, and I have this on the all caps here, so I'm going to turn that back off. Like the TT, that made it all uppercase and lowercase. And I want to get them the same size. So I'm going to select this, use my eyedropper. I pulled it down to the same font. Okay, same size, everything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a different weight of that. I'll do that. Okay, so now, because they're separate, I can kind of pull those away. I can kind of move one around, move another around, put them to fit where I want them to be. And, oops. Now I'm going to pull those in to this logo, right? And just kind of put it in place. Maybe I want it that way. Maybe I want to stack it. Maybe I want to offset stack. So by having them separate, in this case, that works quite well. Again, we're working with 2 words. I think it's perfectly fine to separate them, and you can kind of organize that the best you want. But again, you see, we're starting with ideas and inspiration that we're coming up with. You know, out here, we're looking at shapes, and then we're bringing them back into here, okay, as a kind of a reference. again, it's not perfect, so I'm just working quickly. And if I really like this, I'm going to then take the time to come back and finesse it and fine tune it. Okay. So look at different typefaces. Again, you can just go to find more, and it's going to take you to the Adobe fonts, and then you can go through those and look. And I'm going to see which ones I have activated. These are all ones that I'm using, quote, borrowing from Adobe. Okay, and you can kind of do some. There's new color type fonts that have coming out. I'll show you what they are. It's kind of cool. Again, you can make these up yourself. The downside of this is I can't change the color. I can't, this one I can make it pink if I wanted to. This I can't. Okay, it just stays that color because it's a color typeface. So it's kind of a new thing. And I downloaded just to kind of see what it was. Okay. All right. So look at your typefaces. If you don't have stuff that's working for you, find more. That takes you to Adobe, and there's literally thousands. Okay. But type the word in, have your word highlighted. So when you do that, and you do the find more, and you scroll over, you can see it changing. So you can go, yeah, oh, I kind of like that one. Right. So you can kind of get a feel for it. And even something in between, you can go down and you can see how it would be solid or outline type of thing. You can look at the variations within that typeface. Okay. The computer might want a little slow doing this because it's actually uploading to the internet right now. And those are what I have activated. These are all the other ones. Okay. But there's a bazillion things in there. And you can also filter. So if you know you want a serif or sans serif or a script, you can do that. Same thing with the properties, how the letter forms look, and even how the numbers look. Okay, they're traditional. They can drop down below the baseline. This is keeping them all on the baseline. More geometric. I just want things that are very kind of geometric shape. The O's are more round kind of thing. It's bringing me up those. Okay, so look at those options. There's a lot of options in there to help you work and to give you kind of the look and feel that you're going to be looking for with a typeface. Okay, it's important. Okay, it's important to pick the right stuff. That's why there are so many typefaces. That's why I've got so many on my computer. It's because some of it just comes down to feel, right? Does this feel right or not? Okay, there's some animals. All right, questions? Questions? Nada? Okay. Let me just check off those that have come in a couple minutes here. All right, looks like we've got pretty much everybody. Okay, questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
So for this week, do we just have to like sketch or do the Illustrator thing, or for the three things that we kind of like, just sketch out like some ideas of the logos or something?
Yeah, so I want you kind of look through and get some inspiration, look online and stuff. And then I want you just to sketch. I'm not collecting the sketches. I'm not even going to look at them. But I want you to start to work that way because that's how you can work, or you should be working, and it helps you work a little bit faster. And then once you've got some ideas, take them and translate those into the computer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Other questions? Physical sketch. Yeah, I mean, you mean work for the final logo, or are you talking about just to get you going? Yeah, just to get, yeah, you definitely do that, right? I mean, like I said, this is a sketch I did literally the other day. Get that in there. Yeah. Does that make sense to anybody? Probably not. You know, but it makes perfect sense to me. What I'm doing is
I see the
Statue of
Statue of
Liberty.
Liberty.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do the mountains and arches and the saguaro and half dome and like a redwood tree. This is for something I'm working on. I'm trying to do a coin. You see, if I have an
Nice.
example. I got a. Where'd the heck it went? Too much stuff on the desk here. Anyway, it's a coin, and it's like a challenge coin kind of thing. So like I'm trying to figure out what I want on there besides my logo, and that kind of came to my head. So now I'm gonna sketch that up a little bit more into Illustrator, and then I'll send it to the guy who's gonna make it for me and let his artist kind of work it up so it molds the way they do it. You know, I don't know how they press it, you know, they do. So it's kind of a collaborative thing, but it's a sketch. And literally, if I handed it to you, you'd be like, what the heck is this? But for me, it's the way for me to remember. And then I can get in there and start to do it. And is it going to change? Guaranteed it will change. Okay, but it's about the idea. So yeah, sketch ideas down, and they come to you in the weirdest times some places. That's why I literally carry around, you know, a notebook and stuff, because they'll come to you and you're like, oh, and then you're like waiting for the next traffic light so you can stop and doodle it really quick. But yes, keep track of those ideas, write them down, and then bring them into the computer. Like I said, I'll take this sketch in the next couple days ish and bring it into the computer and just kind of start positioning things and seeing how it works, and we'll go from there. So, all right, other questions?
Yeah, I had a question as well.
Yes.
So, sorry, my doorbell's going off like crazy. But anyways, so I saw like when you're teaching us how to like make these logos and all that,
Mhm.
you're kind of using like a nice graphic design, you know, modern art style and all that.
Mhm.
But is it okay if we use like a kind of turn of the century art
Oh, yeah.
style? Yeah, like
Yeah,
different.
yeah. I mean, I'm using the style that I kind of do.
Yeah.
Any style. Totally.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. If you know, and again, you're gonna maybe use typefaces to kind of reflect that a little bit. But yeah, I'm just showing you styles that I do a lot. You know, if I have to do something OD, I do. You know, I like retro also, but it's kind of bold and thickness too. It's fairly simple. But yeah, you can definitely do retro, and let me just. Let me get my. Um, so you know, these kind of things that go way back, more of a
Oh
historical
yeah, those
stuff.
are cool.
Yeah, right. I mean, even Coca-Cola, if you look at it, it's pretty old. It's not new, you know. And this stuff is just amazing, right? You know, and this stuff, it's kind of some of it's more retro, 50s, 60s, and then some of it just feels like it's coming out of 1800s type of thing. So by all means, yeah, you are not by any means set. You can kind of go back and, you know, work those up type of thing. So yeah, that's just cool stuff. You know, again, some of
Yeah,
it.
I feel like there's a total resurgence with all of this because of like so many breweries coming up and
Mhm.
all these new like hipster products.
And this is a travel service here, Cook's Travel. So this is like variations on their historical logos type of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this, I mean, again, you are not limited by any means to kind of what I demo that because you can do it quickly. If I had to draw this up, dude, we're talking like a couple days probably for me to get this right. You know, even just tracing and going through to get the curves right and stuff like that. That's some time. And again, using this even as a reference and redrawing the ribbon, right? That's taking some time to do that. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work too quickly on a class. Okay. Other questions? Get the beaver. How cool was that?
Oh yeah, and then do we have a due date for this yet, or?
Yeah, the due date is the 9th. I think that's what our paper said. Let me see if the website's loading up now. I believe it's the 9th. Yeah, it's not working. I know it's a sorry page because I got that purple going on. At the 9th, Tuesday the 9th, I think it is. Yeah, well, it's not working. The 9th. That seems like a good number. It's on that page. It'll download when it gets open. So
On the Dart 2 website?
yeah, it's on the website, danielmgross.com/dart2, but for some reason it's not loading.
Okay.
And I'm Tuesday the 9th. Check here. November 9th is the date, yeah. So the other class is due on the 10th. I don't know if we have Veterans Day off or not. I have to look at that up. Anybody know?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's one of those weird ones. Sometimes you do, you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be due that 9th. 2 weeks from today. Plenty of time.
Most definitely.
All right, anything else? All right, guys, if anything else, just hang on, give me a question. Those that are done, keep working, work the logos. If for some reason you haven't turned in your records yet, please get that to me. And we'll get those pulled up. Hopefully one's Thursday, rather. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good week. Work on the logos.
Thank you.
Thank you.